So on to the last stage of the gearbox selection. We've got the selection system here, the lever itself. What I do is I'll stick that in there and I put it in just over the pin. You can just then squeeze that over and get it in like that. There should be a spring in here. I don't have that spring at the moment, but you can see how the system now operates. So that's it in neutral. 1 down is the first gear. There you go, that's it in first gear. Second, third, it'll be into fourth, and into fifth. And then you go down the gears. Helps if you have that spring, of course. First, and then back into neutral. There we go, running around quite happily. So that's the system in place. I just need to get that spring there to keep that in there. If that spring breaks, what you do is you end up having no gears at all. So if you have a situation where you don't have any gears, then that's likely that spring's loose, or that spring's missing, and it's not being able to keep that ratchet in there. If it gets stuck in gear, it'll be because the one of these indents will be, one of these springs will have broken, and therefore it will have kept it in place, and therefore if it starts to jump out of gear, it'll be one of those springs that'll be broken as well, because these indent wheels are there to hold that barrel in place, and if that barrel's allowed to move, it will allow the thing to jump out of gear. Next thing I'm going to do is I forgot to put the oil seal onto the output shaft. The oil seal from David Silver Spares. This is different from a lot of the other Hondas in that it doesn't have a lip on it, so you can put it on after you've put the two crankcases together. Some engines, I think it's a 900, actually has a lip on it, so you have to put the seal on before you actually put the cases together. So that goes on there. Obviously I'm going to put some rubber grease on it before I put that on. The other thing I wanted to cover was this little baby here, because I've just done this up. Done a bit of lap the faces to keep it flat. This is the cam chain tensioner. I've cleaned the shaft. There's an indented section there, which is where the this bolt actually holds it. So when we have to put it in there to make sure that it goes in, and it should slide in quite easily, and it rolls up and down with a huge spring behind it. And the idea then is it then presses on this part of the cam chain tensioning wheel, and it allows the thing to rock backwards and forwards. Very straightforward, very simple system. Give it a little bit of oil to put it together. Mechanical sympathy never hurts. Let me put that together like that. You put it in, and just screw that together, and it'll hold it in place when I get that in there. There you go. And so therefore that sits like that, and then what you do is that you'll then run the engine for a little while, and then when you've got that set at the right position, it'll automatically get itself set in a position where you're comfortable with, and just tighten that up and use the lock nut to hold it in place. Very, very simple, very straightforward.